cap off such a shitty year by talking about shitty movies. With every best of the year list comes a worst of the year list. This is my list for the top 10 worst movies of 2020. The same rules apply with my top 10 best of the year list. You're not always going to agree. These aren't reviews. You get the drill by now. Let's get started talking about absolute shit. Let's start with the dishonorable mentions. Well done, Doolittle. You sucked. Never thought I would get a scene where Robert Downey Jr. shoves his fist up a dragon's ass. You know how they say Freddy got fingered? Dragon got fisted. Next dishonorable mention is Bloodshot. Man, was that bad or what? Jesus, try and make Vin Diesel an Oscar-nominated actor. Oscar-nominated? Vin Diesel? Vin Diesel! Making him say that atrocious dialogue is just breaking my heart. I don't know why, because he's not a good actor. Well done, the Lovebirds. I needed a laugh during a lockdown, and you failed to give me one because, man, this wasn't funny at all. For a movie that was supposed to be a comedy, it was a snooze fest. I was 5 minutes into the movie. I had to probably start this movie over 5 times. No joke. I'm not even joking. Capone! What's up, man? I forgot you even came out this year until I saw you on my dishonorable mentions list. Because apparently, Josh Trank thought it was a good idea to make Tom Hardy bark like a dog when he just talks. He's just like... That's Tom Hardy in this movie. And last but not least on the dishonorable mention list is The Tax Collector, which further proves David Ayer is the greatest hack in Hollywood history. Alright, so those are my dishonorable mentions. Let's get into this top 10 list of the worst movies of 2020. Coming in at number 10. It is so strange to me how this movie was even considered for a theatrical release. I've been an advocate for theatrical releases for almost every movie. This one, I'm just happy, was dumped on Disney+. Artemis Fowl did not deserve a theatrical release at all. I'm glad Disney came to their senses and realized that this movie was just flat out bad. That the screenwriters for this movie did not even read a single book in this series. I could have written this movie better because they didn't understand that this book series is actually a YA book series that is supposed to get darker and darker as it goes on and more mature. It's one of the more mature YA book series, but for some reason Disney wanted to make it more lighthearted by having their writers create a plot that wasn't even present in the book involving this digitized acorn. You have really terrible acting on top of more terrible acting on top of Colin Farrell being in a shitty movie because he refuses to fire his agent. Coming in at number 9, I talked about some horror movies on my top 10 best of the year list. I feel like this entire list is just going to be bombarded with horror movies. The Grudge. God damn it, what the hell was that movie? They tried to make it edgy and original, but nothing happened in this movie. It ends just when it feels like it's getting exciting, and for some reason they chose a non-linear storyline for this movie, which didn't make all that much sense. What a piss-poor reboot of a somewhat okay to bad American series. I'm talking about the American ones that were based on great Japanese horror films. What a way to just shit all over the name. God. Number 8 is another horror movie, and that is The Turning. The movie that didn't have an ending. Seriously, it did not have an ending. It is so strange to me how the writers of The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2 just pump out shitty movie after shitty movie. Like, are they hacks? Are they like David Ayer? Are they hacks too? I have no idea, because it seems like the only reason that The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2 are actually good is because of James Wan. It's not because of their writing. The writing is atrocious, as proven by this movie. They couldn't even come up with an ending. They're just like, all right, stop. We ran out of paper. Not gonna kill any more trees. Stop writing. We're done. We have another shitty comedy on this list. Number 7 is Like a Boss. There is no one more annoying right now in Hollywood than Tiffany Haddish. Anytime I hear that voice, I'm just like, nope, I'm out. And I wish I had just stayed away from this movie. It's not funny. It follows every comedy cliche you could think of. And it thinks that by having people hang from rafters and drapery and just getting slapped is funny. That is not funny. God damn it. Number 6 is Brams, The Boy 2. God damn it. There was a lot of terrible horror movies this year. Jesus. My God, I remember being so bored during this movie. I live tweeted. Anytime something dumb happened in this movie, I was like, gotta go to the Bird app, gotta write down what they just said, and send tweet. That's what I did for the whole movie. I was in the theater on my phone. I was the only one there. Don't tell anybody. Please don't tell anybody. I broke the rules, okay? Talk about piss poor Netflix movies. The Last Days of American Crime. What on earth was that? This is a movie that I think just has like fizzled out of existence for me. It has piss poor characters. It takes forever to get to the actual heist. They focus so much on the main character and this girl. I'm just like, I don't care. Why was this movie 2 hours and 28 minutes long? My God. That is way too goddamn long. It was just drawn out for the sake of being drawn out. I could not wait for this movie to end. As I said, this movie fizzled out of existence for me. I may have fizzled in and out of this movie. I don't really know. It escaped my mind that quickly that I don't even remember it. I mean, the reason I don't remember it is probably why it sucks. Man, more shitty horror movies. Number 4, Fantasy Island. I just gotta do a shout out. I need to apologize to my friend Dwayne because he had such a terrible experience with this movie. Not only was the movie atrocious as hell, but people were actually like getting mad at him in the movie theater because he was yelling at the screen at the movie to stop being such a shitty movie that people came over to him to tell him to shut up. So, buddy, I feel bad for you, and I'm sorry that I got you this on Blu-ray as a joke for your birthday. But anything Jeff Wadlow touches is always going to have Lucy Hale. This dude just thinks he can just make anything. Hollywood will allow people like him to make anything. He only has clout because he made Kick-Ass 2. And Kick-Ass 2 isn't even that good. I mean, this is the dude who did Truth or Dare. You want him to continue making movies like this? That is exactly what this movie is. It's Truth or Dare, but on Fantasy Island. I guarantee you that 8-Ball movie that he's making is going to be Truth or Dare on Fantasy Island with an 8-Ball. I hated every single character in this movie. I hated all the acting in this movie. I hated all of the genre cliches in this movie. I hated the goddamn story. I hated everything about Fantasy Island. Don't watch it, please. Jeff Wadlow popped up twice in this video because he wrote Bloodshot. God damn it, I wish I put Bloodshot on this list now. Number 3 was my number 1 for a good majority of the year, and that is A Deadly Legend. If you have not seen this movie, it is on VOD. Please do not watch it. This is a movie that thinks it invented the fade to black scene transition. This is like a student film at best, which is sad because this was made by professionals and written by professionals. But the look of it is just horrible. It is one of my favorite characters of the year, though. It's a horrible character, but Lori Petty plays this character. Her character just wants beer and is just begging for beer for the whole movie. What a great character. One of my favorites of the year. All right. My number 2 and number 1 picks could easily be flip-flopped because they're in such poor taste. Antebellum is a movie that is just in poor taste. It is offensive. Now, in my video for my top 10 best movies of the year list, I said that Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman was offensive. But it was offensive in that way where it wasn't like so in your face about being offensive. This movie is just offensive to the point where it's tasteless. And the filmmakers clearly just did not care. Filmmakers defended every decision they made with this movie. They defended every idea that they had. And we're like, nope, this was the right call. This is why we did this. This is why nobody appreciates our movies, because everybody just sees this as in poor taste when it's actually not. And here's why. And they gave a piss poor reason as to why it's in taste. I mean, you can give the first 30 minutes merits, but then, like, I don't know. I mean, I really don't want to give this movie any merit at all. There were people literally saying this was the best movie of the year. I was like, are you guys high or something? And coming in at number 1... Songbird. Thank you for producing more trash, Michael Bay. I hate you even more. Even though you did not direct this movie, you're still a steaming pile of shit. Another movie in poor taste. A movie about the pandemic that has mutated past the point where it is now to 4 years later in 2024. And you're telling us that life is still how it is in 2024. Even worse. Wow. What a good message. I mean, yeah, we're just going to be stuck like this for 4 years. Wow, good job, movie. Thanks for inspiring hope. Dude, it's in poor taste. This is not a movie that should have come out at this time. Not only that, but it is clearly unfocused. It had no idea what to do with its characters, had no idea what to do with the setting. For a movie that probably should have waited 3 to 4 years after this pandemic, you probably could have gotten away with a movie like this, and it probably wouldn't have been as critically trashed if it wasn't released now. Or if your writing was actually better, because I feel like you could have a good idea out of this, but it was just executed so poorly in the movie. So I feel like even if this was released further down the line after this pandemic is over, it still would just be trash. Gave me more of a reason to hate Michael Bay. That guy is like my most hated man in Hollywood. Right above Zack Snyder, who is right above Yul Ball, dude who made House of the Dead. Alright, so that concludes my list for worst movies of the year. What is your guys' list? Drop it in the comments section. That was brutal to get through. I'm literally out of breath talking about shitty movies. Man, I'm just glad 2020 gave us some great movies, because I had quite a few honorable mentions. It wasn't a good year for movies. Everything got pushed back. The stuff that got released didn't end up being as good as it could have been. There were some great gems. But then, of course, we had trash like the movies you saw in this video. So I will leave my link to my website in the description below. You guys are the best. Thank you for toughing these out. My next list is going to be my most anticipated movies of 2021. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.